welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm so happy to have you here because we're live in Salt Lake City. That's right. We're on the road for a couple of days, coming to you live from Salt Lake City. I'm Lady JB, your host, and thrilled to be here because we get to talk about ways to ignite humanity. I know many people are asking, what does that mean, JB? Well, the truth is we all have an opportunity to ignite humanity. Each and every one of us can step into the ability to inspire others and make a massive impact, that ripple effect that goes through the world and uplifts everyone around us. And it starts with each and every one of us. You have the ability to ignite humanity. You can make a big difference. And today we want to talk about ideas. It's Monday. We're always talking about new ideas on how you can ignite humanity and ignite your life first. And so I want to share, we've had a beautiful trip driving from Canada all the way to Salt Lake City. It's been a wonderful time. So blessed to see the countryside. If you haven't been out of your city lately, get out of the town, go out, drive, go for a road trip. Just be in the essence of you, have some freedom, go with someone you care about, get outdoors and really create what we love to call those ignite moments, those special little ignite moments that wake you up and have you see things differently and inspire you to look at life from a new lens and filter in some new ideas. It always helps when you get out of your environment and go somewhere different, especially if it's outdoors, if into nature. We got to drive through the wonderful mountainside, the hills, the valleys, see the countryside, the animals. It just awakens you in a different way because it allows your nervous system to settle, your creative mind to kick in, and then some new ideas percolate and you start to feel more relaxed. And that allows you to see things differently, which in turn allows you to ignite the lives of others. And that's why we do the show. We bring on fabulous guests to talk about how they're igniting their world, how they're igniting their lives. And ultimately, that's a reflection for others to do the same. And you can do it also. So hang on, put on your seatbelt. We're going to have a great show as we talk to our incredible guests. And first, I do want to remind you, if you're new, go on over to Ignite Humanity Live, our website, and you can see everything that we're up to, all the stuff that we're doing. Incredible compilation book. In fact, we're trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records with the largest compilation book on the planet. And we're doing that, plus a docu-series, a documentary, and all kinds of amazing experiences that are really percolating this idea of igniting humanity, and you get to be a part of it. All right, well, today's fantastic guest is Doug Gordon. He's a 5-time award-winning CEO, international speaker, coach, consultant, and healer, along with an international best-selling author of a fantastic book. His awards include the International CEO of the Year, Global Man of the Year for humanitarian work in the field of mental health, International Healer of the Year, Global Goodwill Ambassador for Dublin, and an award for keynote at the Institute of the Directors Global Convention. He's an advocate for mental health, homelessness, and helping children, coming to us all the way from across the pond. Welcome, Mr. Doug Gordon.
Hey,
so happy
JB.
to have you here.
Lovely to see you and hear you.
Thank you, and welcome to the show. You know, we love to have voices from around the globe. We want to have different perspectives. We want people to share their ideas. You, a global speaker, a huge impactor, an innovator, an advocate. Let me just ask you right out of the gate, when you hear the phrase ignite humanity, what does that bring up for you?
Well, for me, it's helping people to connect with their true self, their heart self, their higher self, so that they then can find their true path in life. And that's one of the main things for me, is try and help people find that true self, find that higher self, so they can find their true passion, mission, or purpose in life. And I think if we can work together and collaborate together and connect with people's hearts, that's where it can really happen. Whereas too many people really try to come from the head rather than the heart. And when we connect from the heart level, we come from a place of love. And I always say love is an acronym for lots of vibrant energy. So there we go.
Lots of vibrant energy. That's so true, because a lot of people, well, first of all, connect with our true self. It's so important. Many of us are on that journey of connecting with our true self. Do you have an idea, why is it that we sometimes get lost, or we feel like, I want to be like that person, I want to do what that person is doing. We sometimes need to really uncover what our true self is, and it becomes a lifelong journey. It becomes sort of a pinpoint. People want to see it as a finish line. Can you explain that true self part? Because I think some people feel like, well, I'm being my true self, but maybe they don't feel it.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're a product of our parents, our preachers, our teachers, and past relationships and experiences. And that means that our subconscious mind is made up of basically 95% patterns and programs that get plugged in by our parents in the first 7 years of our life. And let's face it, it's all one-way traffic for the first 3 years because you can hardly speak. And then eventually you tend to model your parents and everything like that. And you think, act, and speak the way they do as well. And it's only when you get older you realize that you have all these relationships coming into your life. And I always say that the word partner and the word parent have exactly the same letters, except there's an extra R in partner because we replay the parent relationship over and over again until we realize this. And we realize those suppressed emotions that came from some kind of trauma or missing our parents or something like that. And then when we can understand that and have that realization or awareness, then through awareness, we suddenly start to change. And I think a lot of us, have midlife crises because what happens is we follow our parents. We follow what our parents wanted us to do, what our dad maybe wanted us to do, or mum, or something like that. And then suddenly we get through life in which we've been following this path, which might be about money. It might be about this head self rather than the heart self. And we suddenly aren't fulfilled. We suddenly think, I'll be happy when I have the house, when I have the bank account, when I have the second house, when I have the family. And then we're still not happy, because we're not aligned to our heart self. We're in here. And when you're in here, you come from a place of ego sometimes, which is fear. Whereas if you come from a place of love, you can't have fear, you can't have ego. And that's why it's so important to really, truly align with that and have that realization. And that you can do that by asking yourself, what do I truly love doing? What lights me up? And what am I gifted at doing in this lifetime? And also, how can I add value to people in some way or form? And when you look at those and look and see if there's something in common of all of those factors, you might then find the true path that you're meant to be on.
It's so wonderful that you said that, because I was thinking of all the times that people say to us, like, be smart, think clearly, don't make a mistake. Like, there's so much instructions that we get as a child to be in the head, make the good decisions, make the right decisions, think it through. Very seldom are we told or conditioned, make a good, decide from the heart. Think, what does you feel? What is your heart telling you? What is the most important thing in your heart? We don't get all of that conditioning when we're young. We really are told to be very cerebral about it. You do a lot of business, you do a lot of training, you do a lot of coaching. Are you seeing a trend in how people are shifting their mindset into the heart set? Is that happening more? Is there a way that you can give us some ideas on how we can come down out of the head and into the heart?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So last week I spoke at something called the Wealth Summit, and it was run by a financial services company. And I was speaking about leadership and about how to grow and scale up your business. But I started it off by getting people to stand up and high five and handshake people they didn't know. And then when they sat down, I said, the reason why I do that is to make sure that you feel something energetically during the presentation. Because most of the time, it's not what people say, it's how they make you feel. Mm-hmm. And in order to connect with their hearts, I always say, put your hand on your heart every single day at the start of the day. And I would say, I am Doug Gordon, I am my heart. Please let me connect the hearts of the people I meet in order to bless rather than impress. And what I'm doing there is I'm automatically setting the intention of getting out of here into here. And by wanting just to give and bless people, you actually, ironically, when you get up on stage and you're speaking in front of like 500 people or whatever, you don't mind making a mistake because you're just trying to bless people. Mm-hmm. But ironically, what happens is you actually speak more clarity, more concisely, because you haven't got that fear. And it just rolls and flows through you in a much more positive way. So that's one.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And every morning, and interestingly enough, you and I were in such a conversation, we didn't get a chance, but every morning before I do the show, I always do a prayer with my guests that please give us the gift to say what we need to say so that we touch the hearts of others and we speak the words that need to be heard to help ignite someone else's life. You have done years and years of radio. You have spoken on stage. Share a little bit about how important our words are and how they can bless and inspire and motivate others, because many people feel like, I can't do it. You guys are celebrities, you guys are on stage, you guys have a book, I'm just a regular person, my words can't make an impact. And I'd love for you to share how there's a bigger truth to that.
Oh, absolutely. I love this topic. So conscious communication is key in terms of life, relationships, work, everything. And I always say that your word is your wand, and the sentences we say can sometimes be the sentences we condemn ourselves and others to. And what I mean by that is that every single word that comes out of your mouth is energy. Let's face it, everything in life is energy. Thoughts are energy, speech is energy. Thoughts lead to speech, speech leads to actions, actions leads to habits, and habits leads to destiny. So start with a positive word and you'll end with a positive destiny. Now, in terms of that, when I was a kid, I remember my mum at 16 said to me, Douglas, make sure you put your coat on, otherwise you might catch pneumonia. And I caught pneumonia. My dad said I was a pain in the ass, and I got 2 operations there. He said I was a pain in the back, and I ended up I broke my back, a pain in the neck, and I knocked a vertebra out of my neck. So again, I was condemned by the sentences they said. So that's why it's very important to make sure you speak what you want rather than what you don't want. And every single word has an energy behind it. Quite a lot of kids at the moment, and teenagers, and my own teenagers say this, they use the word S-I-C-K as in cool. But that word has been used for centuries as, being unwell. And that's why I think it's a very bad thing to say. I think you need to be very conscious about the words you say. After my near-death experience, which I had a few years ago, people used to say to me, oh, can you pray it doesn't rain on my wedding day? I'd say no, because you put rain and wedding day in the same sentence. And those two energetics of those words could create rain on your wedding day.
Exactly.
So I will pray that there's blue sky and sunshine, so you get what you want rather than what you don't want. And I think the subconscious brain doesn't understand I hope nots. I hope this doesn't happen. And then it does. So always voice and think what you want rather than what you don't want. So I think it's absolutely paramount in business, in life, in relationships, everything.
I learned that a lot when I first started, when I was just a first-time parent. Like, don't tell your kids, don't spill the milk. You're going to drop that. Be careful. You'll lose that. Don't forget that. I actually had a coach say, as a parent, you really want to encourage them, hang on to that, hold that tight. Remember where you put that, make sure that you have that in a good spot, versus the other thing that we're just, again, conditioned, because words, every time we say don't spill the milk, what happens? Immediately they spill the milk. Well, let me dive in a little bit, because you opened up the door. You've had a powerful Ignite moment. We talk about Ignite moments on the show. Ignite moments change our lives. Many times they're difficult, but what they are is they're the starting point of a new trajectory, a new opportunity. You've had an incredible Ignite moment, many, I'm sure. Is there one that you would like to share with the listeners so they get to know you just a little bit better?
Sure, yeah. So in 2009, it leads up to the Ignite moment. So in 2009, I had 2 operations that went wrong. It was stress-related digestive issues. And those operations went wrong, so it led to chronic pain for 3 years, like I was being punched in the stomach. I was waking up 10 times in the night sometimes. And then I ended up getting the norovirus in 2012, which is like a stomach bomb. And with the operations that I had, it wasn't a good thing at all. 10 days of dehydration, serious dehydration, electrolytes down to 0, and my heart wasn't doing so well. So I was rushed to hospital. ECG did say heart, blood pressure had doubled, and they thought there was a blockage within, and they tailed me down to X-ray. And on the way down, I actually died, and I was encapsulated in this amazing feeling of love, energy, and connection. Nothing like I'd ever felt before. There's no man with a beard, but there was a living, conscious, connective energy that surrounded me and binded me to everything. It was beautiful. Obviously, I came back, otherwise I wouldn't be speaking to you now. And at that point in time, that was half of it. But then I decided to go and do this church course, because I thought I'd better give something back, because I had the spiritual experience. And while I was in the church course, I said to them, look, having been encapsulated in that amazing feeling of love, energy, and connection, I feel that love energy would never alienate or discriminate against anybody in this world. And I don't know if this one path, because I believe that all the paths of religion are beautiful, but they're all like rivers to the sea being universal energy, God, or whatever you believe in, Allah, or whatever. So I said, look, I just need to make sure I'm on the right path. And I walked out and I said to the universe, I said, give me a sign. And 2 days later, went running, tripped up over my dog. My dog tripped me up for no reason, cut my hand and my knee to shreds. And on my hand, I had 2 infinity signs, either side of the letters of the cross, I-N-R-I. It was big I, big N, small r, small I. So it was like, Jesus of Nazareth here, not really king of the Jews, but go back and do that course. So that was a real kind of like, whoa, that completely knocked me. Then I got into that. Then I found out I had healing ability through a psychic. It worked. Got into healing, then got into life coaching, and that completely changed my life. And here I am now. So that was basically it.
It's beautiful because many of us ask for a sign throughout our lives, especially when we're in difficult moments. Please give me a sign, show me a sign. And what I'm fascinated is we've actually been getting signs all along the way. I was just, in fact, a few days ago telling my husband how when I went traveling with my kids, I had just been fired. My house was, the rent that I was renting was sold out from underneath me. The school was told me that they were going to fail my son and he had to repeat a grade, and I wanted to pull him out of the school. It was like all these signs were like right there. And yet sometimes we don't see the signs. Can you share with some of our listeners, because many of them are asking for the sign, and I think globally we want to see the signs of how the world is going to become different, how humanity is going to shift. And we all have our own perception, but what I love for my guests is to just give me theirs, because it widens the lens for other people to see. If Doug can envision that, maybe I can too. Or Doug can paint the picture, maybe I can buy into that belief system also and shift my thinking. I'd love to ask you that big question. I know it's a doozer, but I know you can handle it.
Well, I think, JB, I mean, the most important thing, which I didn't used to do, is when things went wrong, I would point the finger at other people. But when you point the finger, there's three pointing back at you. So what I realized is when I started taking responsibility for my own self, and it was amazing how things around me started to change as well. So when you change, then other people might change as well, either by leaving your life, or they'll suddenly start changing because they'll have a different perception because they'll see that you've changed as well. So I stopped blaming people. Now, I'm not perfect. Obviously, at times we all still do the little things here and there, whatever. But generally, I look at myself in every single situation that comes into my life. I ask myself, why is this person coming into my life? Why is this happening for me? What's reflecting back here? How can I learn here? How can I grow here? And maybe even utilize what I'm learning here to turn my mess into a message and give it meaning if something's bad happening. And that way, that's one of the things I always find is very, very useful. And the other thing I think is that the universe and life works in ups and downs, north and south, positive, negative, and darkness and light. And without the darkness, we can't appreciate the light. And I also believe that if you reframe life as a game, in understanding that maybe, because I had a near-death experience, right, so I came back, I believe that maybe, just maybe, we might come down here again and again and again. And why would you just come down as you or I? Why would you not come down as the king, the queen, the prince, the pauper, the invalid, the Olympian, to experience life in different ways and different perspectives, so you can get an overall viewpoint on this game of life? So based on that, if there's anybody listening to this who's having a hard time, maybe pat yourself on the back, because maybe you've played this game of life so often that you're testing yourself the ultimate to see if you can get through all these hardships and come out the other side and turn your mess into a message and give it meaning, or your tragedy into triumph to help somebody else as well. And when you frame life like that, and instead of getting wrapped up in the commotion of all the individual interactions that you have, take yourself out of that, look as if you're on the 10th floor, back down to the situation as the observer, rather than being wrapped up in the commotion, it can make life a lot easier as well, if that makes sense.
Amen. Well said. Truly, truly well said, and very inspirational. I love that idea, and I'm going to do that. There's many times where you can actually step out of the situation, look at it, I call it from the 360-degree viewpoint, and get a better perspective of what's going on, and then just know you've got this, you can handle this, the solution is right there. All you have to do is ask for it. Well, let's talk a little bit about your book. I'm so fascinated with the inspiration that's inside of it. You poured yourself into it, I know. Tell us some of the principles, or maybe one of the golden nuggets that's inside the book that would inspire people.
Yeah, well, the book firstly helps you find your sense of purpose or create purpose around what you're already doing now in terms of reframing your mindset. Secondly, it helps you get rid of parental programs, trauma, triggers, anything like that. So because sometimes these are baggages that you carry around within your energy. And when you can release these, then you can focus and really align yourself to what your true self is. Because if you have a bit of baggage from before, or maybe from childhood trauma, you might be going in slightly the wrong direction. But with those released, then you're going to be laser focused and knowing where you got to go. And then once you do that, I talk then about how to energize yourself in the best possible way. And I'm a master teacher healer, 5 modalities of healing. I used to play international hockey. I'm, obviously been in the newspapers for success in the business world. So I've combined all those insights, plus having interviewed 300 amazing people on my radio show, all the insights that I learned from them, into then, once you've got there, is how do you goal set effectively? Align those goals to your sense of purpose and create that purpose quicker, faster, and easier so you can live your best life. And I have an acronym called MAKE, which is Mindset, Actions, Knowledge, and Energy. And I have another acronym called GLEAN, which is Gratitude and Giving. Learning and Letting Go, Energy and Emotional Intelligence, Authenticity and Affirmations, and Meaning and Meditation, to lead you towards being more emotionally intelligent and more energized to get what you want in life as well. And I go much more depth into all of those. So that's a summation in about 1 minute.
We're all like, okay, I want that. That's what I want. I need that. That's a great idea. And because today is Idea Days, let's leave our listeners with some good ideas. If I was to ask you, what is one things you love to do in the morning, or an idea that you wake up with and you implement into your day? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that I truly believe with 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi all around us, and if you think about it, we all know there's been psychics around for years. And how does a psychic work? Well, I said earlier on about energy comes from the voice and from thoughts as well. So while I'm speaking into the computer here, it's going up to the satellite and going down to you. How's that happening? Through energy waves, okay? So there's waves of energy all around us. So like with old-fashioned plugs, they all had an earth. So it's very important to earth yourself, ground yourself every single morning so you don't get affected by other people's energies as much. Because I truly believe that when you get into a certain vibe, you attract a certain tribe. And also at the same time, you can sometimes pick up on other people's thoughts. And if you're in an area, they also always say, pick the worst house on the best road, because that'll bring you up to the level of that consciousness on there as well. So by earthing yourself, though, and grounding yourself, sometimes that can stop you going into that meeting with that, slightly negative person and coming out drained or something like that. It can keep your energy up high. And I find by grounding yourself properly, either by getting on bare feet and going out in the grass and really feeling the energy coming up, or doing kind of energy healing type techniques where you pretend you're a tree and send the energy down and bring it back up and all that, which I teach, all that kind of stuff. It's very powerful to help you keep grounded, keeping your own self, keep your thoughts to yourself, and keep your energy to the highest level as well. And I find when I get on stage, when I'm in a grounded state, I come off feeling still really revitalized. Whereas if I go on sometimes not grounded, I might pick up on the energy within the audience. It might be slight jealousy or something like that sometimes, and then I can come out a bit like this. So grounding yourself, I think, would be my number one thing.
I just spoke with someone 2 days ago. They were telling me this very similar idea, because I was saying, like, sometimes I feel like an octopus, so many things going on. And she was like, imagine if you were like a vacuum cleaner and you had a plug and you could like pull it out and retract it. Imagine all the plugs that you have, all the cords that every single person has plugged into this, plugged into this, plugged into this, and all the things that are plugged into you, just like you said, all the computer, the energy, the all the things. If you just were able to like energetically ground and unplug some of those cords and let them go back where they belong. It was actually a very interesting exercise. I thought, like, wow, we actually have so many things that we're plugged into that maybe we don't need to, and so many things that are plugged into us that we could just lovingly give back. And it was a beautiful exercise. It made me just think about what you shared. So fantastic. So folks, get out and do some grounding, unplug a little bit, enjoy exactly where you are, and just know that your energy, your words, everything actually emulates outwards, and that is going to ignite humanity. In our last little moments together, Doug, share with me if and again, back to ideas, if somebody is really feeling like, I've been inspired by this show, I love what Doug is doing. Of course, we'll pop up your website so people can find you, but I just would love to know some last words of inspiration, because you are one of the most inspiring, dynamic speakers I've had the joy of spending time with. I'd love to just have you pour into us on how we can get out into the world, do some grounding, and really ignite one another.
Sure. Well, let's face it, everything that's happened to you in your life at the moment has happened because of whatever you've created, whatever you've done. So be truly grateful for everything you have in life to open yourself up to receive more. And gratitude is the attitude, because it heightens your vibe and you attract a different type of tribe. But also on top of that as well, if I've got children and if I give them a present and they're not grateful, I don't feel like giving them anything else. So why would even your own subconscious mind wake you up to receive anything else if you're not grateful for what you have now? So if you can get into the attitude of gratitude and be grateful for even the small things in life, such as the bed you sleep on, the partner you have, and the lunch and dinner you might eat, you might just open yourself up to receive a lot more as well.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. And we'll pop that up one more time. If you want to know what Doug is up to, if you'd like to listen to his radio show, buy his book, see his training, be a part of his ecosystem, please go and check out his website. I always love chatting with him. I leave exuberated and exhilarated and full and energized. You're such a joy to speak to. And folks, here's the great thing. Doug's going to be on my other show. You all know I do the Legacy Lounge on Thursday. So this Thursday, Doug's going to show up and pour into us talking about legacy, how to build legacy, how to create legacy. What does legacy mean? You know, we love to unpack what it is about legacy and how legacy is going to make a big difference. It's going to ignite humanity. Doug's going to be with us for that Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Traverse TV. Of course, on our Facebook page, our YouTube, you can check it out. And we'll put up the link. Go to legacylounge.life and find out how you can join us and get a backstage pass to get some fantastic training with Doug. Even learn more, the wonderful nuggets that he's going to share with us. You can do that on the lounge. Well, Doug, love chatting with you. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you Thursday. Such a blessing. And thank you for doing all the work that you do.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, folks, as you can see, there are multiple ways that you can go out and ignite humanity, and it starts with you. You get to make the difference. You get to make the choice. You get to make the impact. So decide today, the moment this show is over, when you get up, wherever you are, get out of your car, walk into your office, go see your kids, go downstairs, throw the covers back, and you get out of bed and just love life, love your opportunity. Know that the world is just waiting for you to show up and live your purpose and live your love. Live from a place of the heart. You can make a massive impact on humanity and ignite the lives of others. Well, if you'd like to watch this show again or any of our episodes, please check out our website. We have an incredible platform, 100% free, available to you, making it easy for you to watch all of our episodes, learn from all of our guests, and truly find ways to ignite humanity. And of course, we'd love for you to share your humanity moments and your ignite lives and your ignite moments, because we love having fabulous, powerful guests on the show from all corners of life, every country on the planet. We want to hear what you are up to. People are making big impact just doing small little incremental things. So please go and fill out our type form and share with us what you're doing to ignite humanity. And last but not least, let me just share, we're off to Indonesia next week to build our Classroom of Hope and our Ignite Possibilities School of Hope. We'd love for you to donate. Every single dollar buys a brick for our school. Our next school will be in Pakistan. So if you would like to share, we would love to have you be a part of igniting the lives of children and igniting literacy around the globe. All right, hugs and kisses to you. Happy Monday. Have a great week, and we will see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.